Hello, my name is Ray Edwards, and I'm so excited about this presentation that I've entitled Using Michael Hogg's 6-Stage Plot Structure to Frame a Sales Letter. Now, the meaning of this title is going to become a little bit more obvious to us as we go through with this presentation. But basically, in a nutshell, we are going to be looking at how we can use the plot structures that are commonly used in good movies and also in the writing of novels, apply that to writing sales letters in order to hold our readers' attention, especially when we are dealing with very long sales letters. Now, the real challenge that we have today in the time of social media, and that's the same reason why video sales letters are becoming so much more important, is that it's becoming more and more difficult to keep our readers' attention. There are many people who have heard said, I come to a sales letter, I realize this sales letter is 20, 25, 50 pages long. There's no way I want to read through that sales letter. Yet, that same person who complains about the length of a sales letter would actually devour an 800-page novel. So how is it that this person does not want to read 25 pages of a sales letter that they refer to as long, but yet they would devour an 800-page novel? It comes down to human nature, and it comes down to how do you use human nature to your advantage. And the whole idea that the same way in which those persons who script movies and those persons who write novels can keep their readers' attention, I'm sure that's the same way copywriters as well too can keep the attention of their readers. Okay, now let me just give you a little background story to this presentation and why this 6-stage plot structure by Michael Hogg. Now, suffice it to say, about a year or so, a little over a year or so ago, I was invited to this seminar in Washington, D.C. by Dagan Smith, put on by Dagan Smith and Russell Brunson, called The Invisible Funnel. And there, someone doing the presentation on storytelling that really gripped the audience was Michael Hogg. And here is a quick picture I took of him with my iPhone. Okay, but suffice it to say that he went on to do this presentation about his 6-stage plot structure, giving some examples from movies and so forth, and everybody was really enchanted and everyone was really gripped, with this presentation. And I was basically wowed, not because I didn't know anything about, stories and their plot and so forth, but it was amazing to me to see how he revealed how almost basically every good movie follows this particular, what we refer to as a 6-stage plot structure, and almost to a T, and how they're able to keep the audience attention. And I think, well, wow, I mean, as a copywriter, I should be able to do the same thing. I should be able to do the same thing as well. Okay. Now, let me just quickly go here to his website. Now, this here is Michael Hogg's website, which is storymastery.com. And let me just quickly scroll through one of the articles here that we are going to be, referencing. And this is, and you can go to this website yourself and read through this article, so you can get a background to the story structure, the 5 key turning points. But I'll be discussing those. Here he says, Hollywood movies are simple, though writing a successful Hollywood movie is certainly not easy. The story for mainstream Hollywood films are all built on 3 basic components: character, desire, and conflict. Film stories portray heroes who face seemingly insurmountable obstacles as they pursue compelling objectives, and so forth. Okay, so I would encourage you to go to his website and read this particular article. Okay, we're not going to go through the actual article, even though what I want us to look at is the different stages. Here he discusses the stage of any story. First, you have the setup. Then there's a turning point, providing an opportunity. Then stage 2, the new situation, and so forth. Now, I'm going to quickly scroll through here. As I say, you can read the article for yourself, But here you have at the bottom, you have a picture here of the author of Michael Hague. And he says he's a top Hollywood story expert, author, and lecturer who consults with writers, filmmakers, so forth. He has worked with people like, Will Smith, in making sure these scripts were good and make sure these scripts were top notch. And I encourage you to go to Michael Hague's website and get, you can read that information for yourself. Now here, let me share with you here what he handed out, which was basically a bookmarker with a summary of the same plot that this article deals. Okay, so here we have this was, I just basically photocopied this, but this basically is a bookmarker that he gave out to all the attendees or those who basically wanted, wanted one of these. And notice here that he goes through his 6-stage plot structure. Okay, now let me quickly go through here and explain a little of the 6-stage plot structure. Okay, now the percentages that you have at the top here is the time for the movie. So that's basically at the beginning of the movie, and by 10% into the movie, this is what happens. 25% into the movie, this is what happens. And he actually challenged his audience to say, look at a movie and I can tell you this is what's going to happen halfway through the movie, 3/4 way through the movie. Okay, you get the point, and so forth. Okay, so he explained from his structure for the setup. Setup, you have the character that is fully in the hero, or the character is fully set up in identity. And then about 10% into the movie, there comes a turning point. The turning point provides an opportunity which begins the story and triggers the hero desire to move now to a new situation. Okay, normally this is a new location, which ultimately results in a change of plans. When the hero's general desire is transformed into a specific visible outer motivation, the hero begins to make progress. There's vacillation and he makes progress. The plan to achieve the outer motivation seems to be working until he passes now the point of no return. And he has to now fully commit to whatever the destination he was going after, because there's no longer any option for turning back. This then finally leads to complication and higher stake, because the outside world is now closing in on the hero, and the conflict builds until the hero finally suffers a setback. Okay, so that's like 3/4 way through the story, or 3/4 way through the movie, and it seems to the audience that everything is lost. Then the hero begins a final push to retreating momentarily, then putting everything online until there is a climax where the hero faces the biggest obstacle of all of the film or the story, and the outer motivation is finally resolved, moving the hero into the aftermath, which reveals the new life the hero will live now since that he have completed the journey. Okay, and all of this is what Michael Hague 6-plot structure, and that is how it is explained. To the front of the bookmark is what you have here, and what I explained to you is what is written to the back of this bookmark. Okay, so basically what we're looking at here, therefore, then, is that for every good story, they have these 6 different stages and these 5 different turning points. Okay, there's the person is going along, minding their own business, then comes a new opportunity. It puts them into a new situation. They have to change their plans. There's a little vacillation until they come to the point when they say, oh no, I can't turn back now. Then there are complications as the stake become higher and higher. Then there's a major setback, and they have to do something. It's either do or die. Okay, the ships are burnt, we have to fight. Okay, the ships behind us are burnt, and so therefore we have to fight. And then finally there's the aftermath. Okay, now on Michael's side himself, if you go to Michael Hague's side, you can find there where he goes through different movies and show you how all of these stories, different stories, are played out in the movie. Now, Okay, so if we go back here to his website, you'll see, for example, okay, let's go here. He uses the Erin Brockovich story. And he says the opportunity is Erin forces Ed Mastery to give her a job. Okay, goes to stage 2. Erin begins to work for Ed Mastery in Mastery's law firm, meets her neighbor George, and starts investigating a case in Hinckley. Okay, then next stage, Erin gets rehired to help this situation. And next stage, Erin gets some Hinckley residents to hire to Ed, you know, and he goes through the entire movie of Erin Brockovich and shows you how it fits, you know, to a T, his six stage structure that we saw here. Okay, now when I saw this, my head started, you know, kind of bubbling, and I started saying, well, wow, I mean, if these same attention-grabbing plot structures work in movies and they work in novels, then they should work in copy as well too. Now, I knew basically before I saw this presentation and I you know, got a chance to look at this information, I knew the importance of storytelling. I knew the importance of storytelling in the fact that the Wall Street Journal sales letter, famous Wall Street Journal sales letter, 2 graduates, you know, one was subscribed to the Wall Street Journal, the other wasn't. I knew that the importance of story to copy, and it is basically because of that story why, you know, the Wall Street Journal sales letter did that well. So I know, for example, that stories are very important. But when I saw this, the idea came to my mind. It says, no, why not for my next sales letter that I'm going to write? Why not make the story the backbone of the sales letter and use the same 6-stage plot structure? So I decided there and then that, you know, what I'm going to do is that the next sales letter project that I'm going to have, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the story to be the backbone of the sales letter. And in that way, I'm going to follow as much as possible, because you cannot really, per se, like I'm going to create a fictional story. I mean, this is going to be a real story about a character, which is most likely going to be the creator of the product. And but I'm going to have to dig into the life story of that person to see how I can use that life story as a background to the sales copy itself. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, so in my writing, then I would have to make sure that I present the stage 1, you know, fully set up. You know, I have to make sure I present the stage 1, fully set up fully in identity, the new situation, you know, vacillates between identity and essence and so forth. So I wanted to make sure that I follow those same stages. And I started working on this letter for one of the presenters for the same seminar, who is Dagan Smith, who I've written for basically like 10 years now. And I said, you know, I'm going to apply the same principle to this sales letter and see how it's going to turn out. And to my surprise, this sales letter did over 20% in conversion when it was launched. Over 20% conversion when it was launched. So it means, therefore, then, that this technique of using the story as a backbone and the essence, the real essence of the sales letter really does work and really does and is really very effective. So that is what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go through the sales letter, and I'm going to show you how I use and apply this 6-stage plot structure in order to, you know, basically boost the conversion for this sales letter, and how you can follow the same structure and do the same, follow the same pattern as well too, and do the same as well too. Okay, so let's see how I was able to use the story as a backbone for the sales letter, and I'm going to go through this sales letter blow by blow and look at the different stages of the story and how I was able to incorporate it into the sales letter, and how I try to keep the reader's attention by always going back to the story, of the creator for this product, in this case, who is Dagan Smith. Okay, now my headline was very simple: how to build a huge hyper-responsive list. I decided to just go with the simple headline because I wanted the letter to read almost like a report and not sound too hypey. So I didn't go for those long, amazing, get up in the morning, make $1 million, headline. Okay, it's a simple how to headline, and one of my favorite as well, and most effective headline is how to headline. So how to build a huge hyper-responsive list. But note here that right away I went into the story. Okay, right away I introduced the prospects, to the story. Out of the ashes of business tragedy and despair, the one lesson that created a solid $1 million business model anyone can use to transform their lives starting today. Want a solid online income? Start here. So this is basically like the advertisement for my story. This is the graphic for my story. This is the billboard advertisement for the movie that is coming out soon. Okay, so I wrote it in the same way in which that someone would basically advertise a movie. Okay, and I talk about the conflict that is going to that the hero would have to overcome. I talk about the obstacles that he would have to overcome, and basically there is a sense that going through these obstacles, the person finally was able to overcome those obstacles. Okay, so we go here. Howdy. I want to make you one of the most unprecedented offers in online marketing history. This unique opportunity is so outrageous that on first hearing it, you may be tempted to immediately click away. Now, I started this sales letter by making a promise. Okay, by offering a promise. And so I'm looking at the structure of the sales letter itself now from copywriting perspective. Okay, so I started this sales letter by making a promise. Okay, so this is a promise that I'm making, that I want to make you one of the most unprecedented offers online history. It's a unique opportunity. It's outrageous that on first hearing it, you may be tempted to immediately click away. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, so I'm basically building curiosity and making the person a promise at the same time. Of course, one of the things you have to do right away after you've made the prospect a promise is that you have to show proof that you can actually keep that promise. So you cannot make any big promise and then leave the person hanging. Okay? You have to put your money where your mouth is. In this case, you have to put your proof where your promise is. Okay, let's scroll down here. It says, but this once in a lifetime deal. Okay, it says that this once in a lifetime deal is as real as the earth is round. Here goes. I want to build you a huge hyper-responsive subscriber list and pay you in the process. You heard right. I'm going to build you a $1,000, $3,000, or even $10,000 subscriber list and pay you while doing it. Okay, so here I'm continuing to give more flesh to the promise. I'm giving more detail to the promise. Okay, I'm telling them that I'm going to build them a huge hyper-responsive subscriber list, and I'm going to pay. They're going to pay. In other words, well, not me, but the owner for the product is going to pay you in the process. Now, right away, this sounds a little bit incredible. And things that are incredible, we normally need an explanation for. Okay, so I'm building curiosity and holding attention. I'm building a curiosity now to hold the reader's attention. Now it says here, I'm going to build you a 1,000, 3,000, or even 10,000 subscriber list and pay you while doing it. Now the reason why I just didn't promise I'll build them a $10,000 subscriber list is always good to give a range. Okay, because people are on a different spectrum. Readers are on a different spectrum of believability. There are some people who think that there's no way you can build me a $10,000 list. For those persons, $1,000 sound more like in their reach. Okay? So rather than saying right up front that I can build a $10,000 subscriber list, wherein that is possible because the owner can do that, but yet you want to cover a whole spectrum of believability, I refer to it as. So rather than saying 10,000, you say a 1,000, 3,000, or $10,000 subscriber list and pay you while doing it. Okay, now here I'm still referring to the fact that I'm going to pay you while doing it. Now, in your mind, that doesn't make sense. There's a conflict there. So it's some incongruence, okay? And it needs explanation. But again, that's the reason why I'm repeating it. I know that it needs explanation, and therefore I'm trying to hold the reader's attention up to this point. Now, I can understand if you think that this needs some explanation, okay? Now, I'm reading their mind now. They say, oh, yeah, of course, I need explanation. How are you going to build me this list and pay me? On the surface, it doesn't pass a common sense test, okay? I'm agreeing with the person now. I'm saying I understand the kind of conflict that is going on in your mind right now. Okay, I realize that I'm making you this promise, but it's not believable. Okay, so I'm sympathizing with them. I'm empathizing with them. The better word is empathize. I'm empathizing with the reader now to say, now I understand the conflict that you're going through right now. And I know that you're thinking that doesn't make sense. Okay, but just be patient with me because all of your questions will soon be answered. Okay, again, I'm trying to keep the person reading by making a promise that your questions would soon be answered, but not right away. Right away, not right away, okay? And of course, that is what we refer to as the Zeigarnik effect, okay? That's the Zeigarnik effect where, you know, you're making a promise, but say, hold on, not yet, I'm going to give you in a little while. Okay, I can fully sympathize with your gut reaction to this offer because when I first made it, most of my present clients thought that I'd lost my mind. Now, the reason why I'm making this statement here is that I want to let them know that there are other people. Okay, that is what I refer to, not really me per se, but that is what psychologists refer to, you know, as a 3F formula. Okay, 3F formula means I know how you feel, others have felt the same before, but they have found out. Okay, I call it 3F formula. I'm not sure if that's the official term for it, but you're empathizing with the person. You say, you know, I understand the conflict that you're going through right now, so I understand how you feel, but other people, I want to let you know that other people have felt the same way before, but now they have found out. Okay, a very effective psychological tool of persuasion. Okay, so this is what this statement is using. That's the formula this statement is using, the 3F formula. Okay, without using feel, felt, and so forth. All I'm saying, I can fully sympathize with you. In other words, I know how you feel. Okay, I know how you feel. I want to let you know that other people have felt so before to this offer because when I first made it to most of my present clients, now notice here, I'm saying my present clients, right? They thought I'd lost my mind. So in other words, I'm saying I know how you feel. Other people have felt before. Who are those people? My present clients. But they have found out. Why? How do you know they have found out? Well, because they're my present clients. The way in which they became my present clients was that they eventually took me up on the offer. Okay? So a very, very effective tool here, the 3F formula. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. But others have felt so before, but they have found out, you know, that this is actually real. Okay, let's move on through the letter here. Okay, but why a hyper-responsive list? Now, note right away here that I'm not going directly to answer their question. Okay, so I'm still keeping them in suspense. So I'm not answering the question. Rather, I'm introducing more information now that is going back to the idea of the hyper-responsive list. Okay, so I'm building on the need. Okay, this is the stage of the letter where I'm building the need. Okay, where I'm showing that my product satisfies a particular need, and therefore you know, agitating that particular need. So why a hyper-responsive list? Now, if I've seen it once, I've seen it 100 times. People trying to build a business before they know if they'll even have enough customers. What do I mean by this? They create or join a business not knowing how well it will do, and then start spending money on advertising. They buy different courses, they try different traffic sources, hoping to find the Holy Grail, and very often they are in the land of information overload. You start complaining that nothing is working, start burning the candle on both ends, soon physical breakdown sets in and complete loss of clarity on your original results, lack of confidence in yourself. Now, what I'm doing in this stage of the letter is I'm agitating the problem. And at the same time, I'm letting them know the things that they have gone through and saying, you know, I understand what you've been through. You know, I understand that maybe you have tried to build a business before, and you know, things didn't work out as well as you thought they should work out. You bought different courses. You already thought that it was the Holy Grail, but it didn't turn out to be the Holy Grail. And therefore, if I am telling you this, then it's not likely then that that is what's going to be the result from my product. Because I'm saying that I understood that you bought things before in which you were disappointed, but now this product is actually, you know, this product is actually different. So you start complaining that nothing is working, you start burning the candle at both ends. And I'm saying, you know, I understand. I understand where you are. I understand the problems that you have gone through, you know, but, you know, just hang in there for a little while, and I'm going to be able to show you a better way. Okay, so that is the problem, but this is what the solution is. There is a better way. Now, even though it may seem strange at first, what if you concentrated on building a list of trusted subscribers and then find the business opportunity or product to sell to them? Well, in a few months' time, you'll have a list of 5,000, 10,000 people who, whenever you send an email, click your links like crazy and buys in drove. Okay, so I'm kind of painting a picture of them, of how life can be, how things can be different to what they're experiencing right now. So today you can decide to make a simple paradigm shift in your business with dramatic results. Money will be just a click away. You don't have to stress yourself out because now you have created extreme leverage. You're no longer worrying about whether you should jump on the next launch or join the next best business opportunity because you don't have to. Okay, so I'm painting this imaginary picture for them of what life could be with this product. You'll have money at your disposal to buy the new plasma TV, that new car with so many checks and income streams hitting your mailbox, you can forget about them. Now, when that perfect opportunity comes along, what do? You can get a bonus package together, load your autoresponder with the marketing message, and see the cash roll in. You see, most marketers fail because they fail to build a list. They fail to build a foundation before they invest in filling the shelves of their store with all the cool, shiny, expensive objects. Don't be one of them. Let it go. Make the uncommon choice and achieve the uncommon results and live in a spectacular life. So not only am I saying I understand the difficulties you're going through right now, I understand your trials and difficulties, I understand, you know, what your challenges are. I'm also painting a picture for them of what life could be with this product. Okay, what life could be with this particular you know, product. They are watching television, the kind of television, able to buy the kind of television they want, the kind of car they want. They have more freedom, they have more money, you know, and so forth. Now, by this time, okay, and this is one formula that I've used, you know, over and over again, is that by this time, the person want to know, who are you to be able to tell me things like this? And here, this is the perfect stage at which you plug in the answer to the question, what qualifies me to talk like this? Or, I mean, who are you? Why should I even listen to you? Okay, so I've made my promise. I've painted a picture of what life could be with my product. And so now the whole idea question I have to answer, I mean, why should I even listen to you? And this is the stage at which now I actually introduce the, where I actually introduce Dagan's, you know, life story as a marketer. Okay, so this is the stage now where now I have to now go into the place of my setup, have the person in full identity, you know, talk about the new situation that they face, the turning point, the change in the plans, the progress that was made, you know, the turning point, the complications that came about, and the final push, you know, and so in other words, this is the place now we have an opportunity to tell the story of the hero who is the creator of this product. And therefore, while I am telling this story, I am paralleling the benefits of the product along with the story. So the story forms the backbone, the backdrop, the canvas on which is painted this particular offer. Okay, so the life story of the product owner here is what is the background of this offer, and hopefully this will be able to keep the prospects attention while they are learning the human story. They're also learning about the product at the same time. Okay, now so let's the same time. Okay, so for the next video, what we're going to be doing then is that for the next video we are going to be looking at the actual story